Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace. And welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. And I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba. And this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. Peace. All right, well, it's February 25th. Believe it or not, it's February 25th, 2023. And we're at the end of February, y'all. Winter just breezed through. And we're getting ready for springtime, man. And that's always exciting for us here at Coffee Talk Podcast. I know it's exciting for a majority of people, man. But if you like the winter, let me know. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let me know what season you're into and what you like. But yeah, it's a Saturday night, man. So listen, whoever's watching the podcast show tonight, perhaps you decided to stay at home with your families where it's safe. You decided to have a nice dinner. You decided to have some food sent in. You probably ordered out. Most people like to order out on the weekends. You know, the home kitchen be closed. So people like to eat and enjoy movies and stuff, man. So if that's what you're doing tonight, man, big ups to y'all. And may y'all enjoy family and each other. You know what I'm saying? And for those of y'all that's going out tonight, man, just be safe, man. It's really crazy out there. And you have to wonder, is it even worth going out anymore to some of these places? Yeah, you could go off to your own little shing-ding, you know what I mean? That is what I want to say. What's the right word? That's off-grid of hood shit. You know what I'm saying? And you'll enjoy yourself. But if you continually want to go to the hood shit because you're comfortable going there too, I'll say that part because, I don't frequently go to the hood shit no more, really. But I stop through every blue moon to hear some good music off the jukeboxes and stuff, see some friends and associates. But you got to ask yourself, man, is it really worth it anymore, man? So many people that go out today only to bring their problems out, you know what I'm saying? And they don't want to come out and just have a good time, But tonight, we're definitely going to have a good time here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Why? You know why? Because it's the grown folks social hour tonight. So we do it. We do it like we do it. But man, I get to be myself, and not to say I don't get to be myself on other typical podcast episodes that we have. But because we are a cultural variety podcast show, I find myself doing a lot of narrating. And interacting with our viewers and our fan base. But on Fridays and Saturdays, if you've been a supporter for this last year and 3 months to be exact, this last year and 3 months, year 2 of Coffee Talk Podcast, we always like to get it in on the weekends, on Fridays, Saturdays. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to bring my brother from no other that comes through the show all the time. He creeps through the back door. He always likes to come home and holler at us here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Brother Leo's going to be joining us tonight. But before I bring Brother Leo on, and before we even start the show tonight, we're going to have a good time. We got to start it the way we do. And that is, we never start a show without giving it its flavor and its wise words. So today, being that it's Saturday, I usually only do this on Thursdays. But being that it's Saturday, you guys gonna pick your own flavor tonight. That's right, you're gonna pick your own flavor tonight. What is my flavor for tonight? Well, I'm drinking on a nice little 9% peach hard lemonade wine cooler, man. You know, I'm just gonna show that quickly. I do not own the rights to this can. I'm giving them free pub though, but this is what I'm sipping on tonight. You know, I don't do heavy liquor. And I'm also sipping on a little bit of this, man. And, you know, maybe I'll get some water thrown in there eventually. So that's what the flavor is tonight. What you sipping on? Go ahead and leave it in the comment. Let us know what the flavor is with you. What you sipping on? Are you sipping on water, wine, a smoothie, a cappuccino, some beer, some Jose? What you sipping on? Go ahead and leave it in the comments and let us know what the flavor is. All right. And also, the wise words for tonight. This goes back to a song, man. A song that was released back on January 15th, 1989. January 15th being Martin Luther King Day. But this song is needed. It's needed for what's going on right now, and it's definitely needed for today. Because in my city, the Twin Cities, man, if it ain't snow, if it ain't ice, it's just been a lot of senseless violence. So this song that was released January 15th, 1989 is going to be the new our wise words for tonight. And the song is entitled Self-Destruction. It's by a variety of artists known as Kumo D, MC Light, KRS-One, Public Enemy, Heavy D, Stetsasonic, BDP Posse. And this song was part of their Stop the Violence movement. So again, we're going to go ahead and say today's wise words is stop the violence, man. Stop the violence, man. Stop the violence, man. And so with that said, I'm going to go in and bring in Brother Leo, man. And this is the Grown Folks Social Hour, man. Have fun with us tonight. Let me bring my brother on in. Peace, King. How you doing this evening?
Beautiful. What's good with you?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Another weekend. You know what I'm saying? Another Saturday night. But, man, how's your day going?
Good. I'm alive, man. I have no complaints today, bro.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, this is our Saturday night social hour, man. We're going to try to do some Q&A questions a little bit later, but I want to start out talking about nepotism.
Oh, shit.
And it's a new word that you know, that the old media throws around, just like they threw around toxic, narcissist, all these new words that they can throw at people. So I was on social media yesterday and I saw Ice Cube's son. You know, he's in a new movie called Cocaine Bear, actually. It's called Cocaine Bear. It's about a bear getting high off some cocaine. And the article talking about Ice Cube's son and they said that he's a Nepo baby. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is a Nepo baby? So I went and did the knowledge to it. I went to find out what it was. And they said that nepotism means that in the world of Hollywood or entertainment, or even in corporation, because of who you are, you're putting your child on. So now your child doesn't have to go through the regular adversity that others may have to acquire the job. So that's where I want to start tonight on nepotism. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, man, I mean, it all depends on, sorry, what side of the line you fall on. Now, when I was actively trying to get into the plumbers union, I ran into a lot of nepotism. Like they had this test you had to take, and I scored 100 on the test, right? And did the interview part. So basically, I was getting passed over for like basically put it like this: like you go in there, you go for a little board, and this, that, and the fifth, and the people that would interview you ask you questions and shit. Basically, everybody that was on that board had relatives that came through there, and the relatives got on. So if you had no connection, you didn't get on. But as far as like family business is concerned, of course, you know, nepotism is shit is the rule of the day. I mean, like, why build an empire if you can't give it to your, give it to your offspring?
Ooh,
I mean, I think that's the primary goal to do that.
no doubt. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. It's yeah, it depends on what lens we're looking out of, man. I mean, because if I a director of a movie and I'm looking for somebody to play me, of course I would look to my children, one, because they look like me. Same as Ice Cube situation when he chose his son for the NWA role, even though his son still had to work and do the work. But there is nepotism there. And that's really just, it's America, man. And it may even be worldwide because it started in family bloodlines, it started in tribal and things like that. So yeah, if you have a child, you want your child to get the best opportunity possible because you put in the work to create that opportunity. So that's definitely interesting, man. Anybody out there, you all want to tune in and let us know what's your thoughts on nepotism? Do you believe that it's a good thing? Do you believe that it's a bad thing? Reason why I ask you if it's a bad thing is because it was about maybe 5 years ago, probably 2 years before COVID. And I don't remember the people's name, but I'm sure y'all's gonna remember this story. It was two actresses. They was A-list actresses off of those little friendly family shows, and their kids got selected to go to Yale and all that, and they jumped over a bunch of other candidates to get into the colleges, man. And they ended up doing some short time, but they did some time for allowing that to happen, and doing under table schemes with the colleges to get their kids to go in there. So what could be a bad thing? Let me know, brother Lay. What do you think is a bad thing when it comes to nepotism?
Incompetence.
Mm.
Incompetent. I mean, like, you look at, like, this might sound like off topic. Like, you look at the royal family. Okay. Um, Most of them are. How can I put it delicately? They are the byproduct of incest, and incest, in my opinion, and I'm quite sure some medical individuals will agree. You have the tendency to have mentally unstable people when you have inbreeding. But I know that's kind of like off the subject, but, like, basically, like, when you see a company that's ran into the dirt because the son takes over or the grandson takes over or somebody takes over, and basically they use the company as a personal ATM, for bullshit, and they run it into the dirt. I mean, nepotism is all right if you groom that person for that position and they fulfill that or exceed that. But if you put an unqualified person into a situation solely based on blood, you may not have that business for too long.
Mm. What do you think about the other candidates out there that got to go about it the hard way? They got to really get it out the mud. What is your thoughts on those people that are getting jumped over because of people empowering their children?
Man, that goes into the prominent thing that we discussed, personally and shit like that. I mean, I'm gonna reflect the question back to you. What good can come out of shit like that? I mean, what good can come out of that? Honestly, it's a
No,
recipe for disaster.
no doubt, man. I've seen some cases where people will hire their friends, and although we may love our friends and the whole nine, but that's not always the case. Like, have you ever had a job and you say, "Hey, y'all, man, my job's hiring. Let me know if you want to work. I'm gonna put the word in. I'm gonna have you use me as a reference to get you in." And then when you start to do that, your friends don't have the same work ethic. So now they're damaging your name, because you were looked at as, man, I can count on this dude to get us some good people. And again, it's like we should know what strengths certain friends have and and certain qualities friends can bring along. But just to say, yo, man, I want my friends to get the job, that can always be something that might bite you in the end because everybody don't have that same work ethic. What's your thoughts?
Um, I have given my name as reference on multiple occasions, and I don't feel I got any blowback, whether it turns out good or bad, by putting my word. I mean, put my name out for the individual. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think it's on basically how you carry it. I mean, you can introduce a person to a situation, but when we're talking about amongst adults, that person's personal performance should be a reflection on that person and not on me, because they're doing whatever they're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing, and everybody's an individual. We as black people, we love to talk that we're not a monolith, we're individuals. Okay, so let's stand on that individuality. Yes, I can, say, yeah, this is a good person from what I know, and this person may work out well, but ultimately that's up to that person.
Yeah. What do you feel that the friendship that you're bringing, you're giving your reference to a friend, a colleague? Do you feel that they owe you an obligation though to stand on that word? I mean, is word bond or is it not bond? You know what I'm saying? If you gave me a reference and I'm coming in there because you opened the door for me, or you brought me to the gatekeeper, and I don't want to make you look bad. Everybody doesn't think that way though. But I wouldn't want to scar your name because regardless if I fail at the job, if I get the job, whatever, me and you still have a relationship. What's your thoughts?
Well, on that, I still stand on that. Whatever my relationship with that business is my relationship with that business is. And because I will hope that um by me associating with somebody or recommending them for a position, they got it and it didn't turn out well, I will hope that that employer would judge me on my merit and not on what they're dealing with that other individual.
Mm-hmm.
But if they did, so be it. I feel like this is my personal belief.
Mm-hmm.
I'm required by my personal belief system that if I have the opportunity to put on another black man, black person, period, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do that. I'm going to extend myself to do that. Now, if it turned out bad, it turns out bad, but I'm living by what I believe.
No doubt.
And I don't believe in crabs. I don't believe it. I'm not one of those kind of individuals that have a plug with something and be selective about who I give that plug to as far as like employment is concerned. I mean, it's more or less like, I mean, we get off with, I mean, some people like to play God with folks and shit, like to see how, their little help may have affect somebody's life in a negative or positive. And then, niggas want to, sorry, folks want to act like God and say, well, that person doesn't deserve that opportunity right there because I don't know. I just don't like that person. I see that shit a lot where people will be close with one person and not have an issue with the third person, but because of the second individual, they shit on the third person out of loyalty to that other person. And that person that they showing loyalty usually are number two is usually wrong.
Mm.
But I look at people like that. Me personally, I wouldn't run my business based on, like, say for instance, we got a third party. They know you. They don't like you. I'm not gonna not hire that person because they got a problem with you, unless it was on some like a serious situation where life and death was concerned. But as far as like you just don't like this person because they rock with the Green Bay Packers, I just can't, or they screwed your old lady back in the day. I can't be involved in nothing like that. That's none of my concern. And I find that a lot of us in the Twin Cities have an issue with getting in other people's business. That's why you have people getting stretched out, sent to early graves for being fanboys of other people's situation. Dick riders, let's call it what it is. Dick
Mm.
riding is a very dangerous sport these days. Be careful of the dick you ride. It may be the one that sends you to Elmhurst.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm thinking this along the lines of nepotism, and being that part of our brand is always to give our viewers the flavor or give them some historical content. And there was a time on those plantations on Wall Street when our people were being sold off, that they called it, a thing was created called the dozens. Now today kids call it cap or no cap. We called it the dozens, and back then we even called it capping in the 90s, so it really just came back around a few times. But pertaining to nepotism, you're the woman having a nice body, maybe having a nice skin tone, whatever that means. I'm just speaking on, in the terms of slavery. They would take another relative because of that. Oh, that one has the sister over here, Sister Betty, or whatever. She has a nice body. She has nice teeth. She has nice hair. So we're gonna go grab her sister, her mother, her grandmother, her daughter, or whatever. So to avoid the nepotism is how we came about with the dozens, because we would start to cap on one another to make sure that it kept our family together. Oh, massa, you don't want to take Elroy's dumb ass. That boy dumb. He's no, just leave him with us, massa. Those were the storylines of the counter of nepotism. So, what is y'all's thoughts, people? If you're watching the show tonight, it's Grown Folks Social Hour. We're just getting started. And right now, the first part of the segment is nepotism. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What are the pros and cons? Go ahead and leave it in the comments and let us know what your thoughts are. Brother Leo, you got anything else to say on nepotism?
No, man.
Okay, no doubt. Let's go ahead and move right along. I know you've seen this. You be on your journalism, and I know you know what's going on with this situation. Let me ask you. Willie D and Scarface had a disagreement. They're brothers, of course. They had a little disagreement because the Grammys, this year's Grammys, was celebrating the 50th year of hip hop. This year's Grammys was celebrating the 50th year of hip hop, and the Grammys only called Scarface. Now we know Scarface. He established his own solo career to put him up on a Mount Rushmore, so he should have been invited. But they didn't invite Willie D, man. What's up with that? Is that on Scarface or is that on the Grammys? Talk to me. Let me see. One moment. All right, Brother Leo, you there? All right. Brother Leo, did you hear me? Did you hear me about the Grammys?
Yeah. I peeped that. Yeah, and it's more or less like, I mean, personally, I wouldn't have done that if I was Scarface. Personally, that's just me. Especially performing group material like that. I don't know what his thought process was. I mean, I know what he said versus whatever, but at the end of the day, for me personally, I think that was some low shit to do.
I think so too, Face. I didn't finish watching the rest of the interview on y'all show on Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast. But yeah, that was low, Face, and I don't like to say the word hope, but I hope you apologize to your brother Willie D. They did ask for Scarface to attend, but I have to believe, Scarface, that they're gonna let you know what songs they want you to sing prior to you getting caught up on the stage. You guys all go through rehearsals, so you kind of knew what you were gonna perform. And not to include your brother Willie D, who Willie says he wrote the song, but I don't know what Willie D's real name is, y'all. Go ahead and look that up for us. Put it in the comments if you possibly can. But when I heard about the story, I did go check who the the writers were, and one of them was Scarface. And you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up right now. I might not be able to because I don't have my keyboard set in. Let me see if we can do it off of my screen. Give me 1 second. I do have touch screen, so let me see if I could type it up here. Give me 1 second, people. All right. There we go. So let's say, what's that song by them? Mind Playing Tricks on Me. So give me 1 moment. Mind Playing Tricks. Using my touch screen. I haven't done this in a while. Mind Playing Tricks on Me song. I haven't used my touch screen in a while to type up something. So this is kind of cool. Let's see here. All right. So I have it up. And we're just going to just find out who wrote this song, y'all. Who are the writers of this song? Okay, so the songwriters is Doug King, William Dennis. I think that's probably Bushwick Bill. I mean, not Bushwick Bill, but oh man, to be honest, I don't know. William Dennis and Brad Jordan. We all know Brad Jordan is Scarface. All right, so let me just go right back over here. Boom, there we are. All right, so Willie D stated that he wrote the song, and he said that he thought that was a low blow that he wasn't added. So I need for anybody watching the show tonight, go ahead and let us know what Willie D's real name is, if you can, or perhaps I can even look it up. But what is Willie D's real name so we can find out, did you write the song?
Willie Dennis.
I'm sorry?
Willie Dennis.
Willie Dennis is Willie D?
I believe so.
Yep. Willie. Okay, that makes sense. I wrote that. Okay, so yeah, he did write it. So yeah, man, he should have been part of that. You got any thoughts on that, man? Other than what you said, what is your thoughts on the whole thing with Willie D and Scarface, man? Is this gonna lead to drama, or is they gonna just be OGs about it and let it go? What's your thoughts?
More than likely, Brad Jordan is like that, and Willie D's probably experienced multiple situations like that because they didn't have over a 30+ year relationship. So I'm quite sure old boy's he's cut like that, and so I think they he's learned to live with that within business, within their business, I should say.
No doubt. Also, along with the news on Willie D and Scarface, reports came out that Willie D and my brother that had the dead eye, they didn't get along, man.
Oh, Bushwick,
yeah, him and Bushwick didn't get along, and all the time, and those were his words, and that's crazy in itself because it's like, how can you be a group and everybody's not performing on the same wavelength? That's just like with basketball, with any type of sport, man. If you got a couple crabs in the barrel, y'all might not. You ain't gonna perform. Let's look at Green Bay Packers, which neither one of us is a fan, but as soon as the quarterback lost his wide receiver, it went on downhill from there.
Right.
What is your thoughts, people? Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are on Willie D Scarface. Leo, you get ready to roll something up? What you doing over there, brother?
Oh yeah. I already got the rolled already. It's called Kush Mint.
Okay, no doubt. Viewers, whatever you what's the flavor tonight? Let us know. It's your choice flavor night here at Coffee Talk Podcast, the Grown Folks Social Hour. We'd love to know what you sipping on, what you drinking on. You know what I'm saying? Come on in, kick your feet up, pour yourself some water, some wine, a smoothie, a beer, a shot. Come and do what you do. But it's Coffee Talk Podcast, the Grown Folks Social Hour. All right, so next topic, I want to talk about is I saw the brothers from Mob Ties, Jay Prince Jr., Jay Prince, and the other son, and they was on this show, man, on one of the podcasts. I don't remember which one, but there was Jay Prince, man, who actually was basically telling Offset, you know, don't put me in a corner where I got to defend myself. A lot of people said those are some cold words or some threatening words. And why do you feel that Mob Ties keep speaking out on Offset's death, man?
That whole situation, brother, I don't understand none of that shit. And I mean, I mean, anything anybody that can make me agree with Charleston White, you really gotta look at what the fuck is really going on. And I find as far as calling people bitches and telling folks that I don't know to suck my dick, I'm not with all that, okay, because that's unnecessary. But as far as about what's really going on, 2 black men murdered, 2 one not so high profile and one very high profile gets knocked off in a very short span of time, and you have a lot of contrived answers and bullshit going on. Man, it's bad for us. It's bad for black folks.
Absolutely, man. And regardless of what comes out of the camps in their defense or whatever, it does look bad on Mob Ties for the simple fact that this happened on y'all's watch. So if you have a check-in policy, either you're not protecting the people that you're supposed to be checking in with y'all, or you're the ones that are robbing the people that's checking in, because 2 people done came up deceased.
And you know something, bro? Not to cut you off, man. Just the whole ideology of how we're just so fucked up and want to suck a white man's ass is just sickening. The name Mob Ties within itself, man. Fuck that. I mean, just on the real tip of that, and you got people running around acting like this is some real mafioso type shit. I mean, them people didn't respect black people. We were punks to the Italians and shit. We were nothing. I mean, literally, what did they say in The Godfather? You can't sell no dope in our neighborhoods. Take that to the darkies where they have no souls and let them, fuck their life up. And you got black people, prominent black people, emulating bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and
That's not our shit. That's not our shit. And one thing I can respect about 50 Cent is that when everybody was off into that, mafioso shit and Gambino and all the rest of that shit, even the brothers of Wu, they fell for that shit. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent say, yo, if I'm gonna bite a gangster's name, I'm gonna bite a black gangster's name. And he came up with 50 Cent, a black gangster. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that shit's whatever. I mean, at least identify with who the fuck you are. You want to create movements and shit like that. You want to instill fear in people, especially white people. Come up with some shit like the Mau Mau or some shit like that, some historical shit that put fear in white people. They don't give a fuck about no Italians. Italians is half white niggas anyway. They're not really respected by quote unquote white people.
Right. No, we have heard that in a lot of gangster flicks, man. And yeah, I don't know what it is with the people that let's say want to play that role of gangster, how they always want to select the Italian name, and they got to be Gotti and they got to be this and like you said, man, those mobsters historically, they didn't really care for our people.
They exploited our people. Let's keep that real. They even exploited the people that was put over their people, our own people, to exploit us. To me, and I'm gonna catch flack for it, but I say what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
In real life, in my opinion, unless I learned some new shit, Bumpy Johnson was a punk.
Yeah, because he was getting exploited too.
Yeah, he was their boy.
Yeah. And then he was the overseer of his own community. You know what I'm saying? And whatever money he made, he had to break it off in taxes to them. Yeah, that's too bad, man. That is too bad about Bumpy Johnson and that whole scenario. Are we selling ourselves out for their God, which is gold, oil and diamonds? Are we selling ourselves out, man? Trying to fit in with the Joneses when it comes to any of that. I don't understand how we get it from the mud, and we risk to be podcasters, we risk to be rap individuals, and we risk to get into entertainment and all this shit. And you finally get there and you start to make some money, but you still want to be involved with negative street shit. Ain't nothing wrong with going home and uplifting your community, giving back, doing charity work. There's nothing wrong with that. But why do our boys gotta get the money and then go and get involved in bullshit that jeopardizes the bag? What's your thoughts?
Little to no home training. Not strong, positive male role models around, or positive, strong role models around, to help you to be programmable, if that's even a word. And I mean, is comfortable in this situation, to whereas like what to do once you hit that next plateau, instead of sitting there, looking backwards on shit that you elevated to the next level. There's no need to be digging back up into the old things, because shit happens, lives are lost, time is lost.
No doubt. You definitely can't get time back. What do you think about these people, man, that was getting them PPP checks, man? They was getting 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000, $100,000 in some cases, and they just blew the money.
They needed to put some more niggas back on the plantation. And the everybody's favorite bigot, the new Archie Bunker, Donald Trump, set the stage for the other. I mean, he played good cop to the bad cop we got now, Kamala and lock 'em up Joe Biden. Okay, so he set the table with all this easily fuckable, stealable money. They knew niggas is going to go fuck with this shit. They know criminality is rampant. and you make a lot of, basically they set a lot of black people up to do white collar crimes, and they're gonna get blue collar sentences and shit. It was a setup. That's what all that shit was about. They baited the trap, and niggas took that shit, and now they run around here sweating with hypertension and motherfucking anxiety and shit, waiting for somebody to knock on the door to come get their ass.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It kind of reminds me of that show. I forgot what it was, a cop show, man. You probably seen it before, where they would be in the cities and shit, and they would open up a U-Haul truck or some type of truck that had a cargo backing. They'll open the back door, and the shit will have guns, or they have bikes or whatever, and they'll just sit there and do a bait and switch, and they'll sit there and be like, all right, let's see if somebody just comes out and steal these bikes or whatnot. And our dumbasses, just like cockroaches, we run out there and just grab shit and get caught up, man. And that's crazy, because we got to come out of the materialistic mind state. It's okay to have nice things. Don't get me wrong. It's very okay to have nice things, but the nice things shouldn't be the forefront of your behavior or the forefront of what you're trying to establish as you walk your goal and leave your path. It's just real crazy, man. What you got to say about that?
Man, it's just more or less like, man, we look at the aftermath of all those PPP situations. Inflation is high as a motherfucker thanks to that shit. Like, you look at, you go look at $1,000 car prior to PPP. $1,000 car was $1,000. $1,000 car now is probably like about a $5,000 car. I mean, you look at like prior to all that, if a car had like about 100 and some thousand miles on it, you really would. I mean, that would be probably your last option. Now you got people selling cars for an exorbitant amount that got 250,000 miles on the motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that's due to COVID. I mean, well, fuck it, it's due to the PPP. How just like they're playing with the idea of giving niggas reparations, because they know niggas is finna give that money right back plus some. They know they're gonna get that money back. They're gonna get it back, and it's gonna cause a bigger ass inflation and shit. And it's gonna hasten the race war that we're getting ready to have.
That's deep. Deep. Tonight, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Grown Folks Social Hour. And we off grid as far as script. We just going through what we doing, having a good time, and we talking. Feel free to go ahead and if you want to talk about nepotism, if you want to talk about Willie D and Scarface and the Grammy situation, go ahead and let us know. If you want to talk about Jay Prince, Mob Ties, Offset, and Takeoff, let us know about that. Let us know if you're having a good time tonight, man. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Where you at? Where you at? Is it positive over there? Is it beautiful people over there? Let us know what you on tonight on this Saturday night Coffee Talk Podcast, the Grown Folks Social Hour. Man, so tonight, man, as we get ready to broadcast, I happen to be checking out YouTube, and I was looking at our local news on YouTube, man, and I want to say this because it has something to do with our community, and I know it probably was a national story of a young man that at Harding High School who got stabbed. Now, there's a lot of different reports that are out there, of course, in the community, a bunch of, he say type shit. But one of the reports was that it was the guy's first time at the high school. He was just transferring there. He gets into a fight. One of the teachers grabs him to break up the fight, and he gets stabbed. I don't know. I wasn't there. Those are just the stories I'm hearing. But me and my lady was talking, and we was like, man, doesn't it seem odd that usually when people get transferred to schools, man, they either transfer to schools for several different reasons. One is you transfer to schools because the school just is failing your child. You want to go to a different school. The other times people get transferred is because perhaps, just maybe, and I'm not talking about this situation, I'm just building off of it, but maybe it could have been a situation where you're transferring schools because, there could be some trouble that you might be part of or might not be part of, whatever. So you transfer schools. But then when we start to look at patterns, man, I hear today, and it breaks my heart, that the young man was having his recession after the funeral. Is that what that's called? The recession? Yeah, the recession. And they decided to have it at one of my favorite places, man, the West Side Boosters, El Rio, which my family is a part of. Our kids play sports there. And the place was shot up, man. 3 innocent people were shot. And I just saw this tonight, and I just can't believe it, man. What's your thoughts on that whole ordeal? What's your thoughts?
My condolences goes out to the victims' families and the victims. I hope everybody's all right. Man, I don't know what I don't know what can be done about this violence, man. I mean, I think it's just human nature. I mean, I should think if they created more situations to send, more programs that pay children to learn and all the rest of that, I thought that, you would see a downtick in the drama. But I just think that, where we are as a species right now, it is self-destructive and violent.
That's crazy. You said some key points there, man. I've always said this, that no matter what nonprofits do, or not even nonprofits, man, because I know the governor says it too, and the mayor says it. They say, hey, we need money for this and that to stop the problems. That's not going to stop the problems, because that money doesn't go to the people. It goes to these buildings, and some of these people and these nonprofits to say, well, it helps us stay open. But if you're not really reaching the people, then the money goes to waste. Ain't no money going in somebody else's pocket gonna stop 2 brothers down the street that have a problem. They ain't getting that money. So their problem still exists. You can feed families. I get it. You can hand out food every week. But if you're not teaching, especially young males, knowledge of self, you know, you're just gonna continue to have these problems, man. Because if you don't know how to take a boy and train him up to be a man, you're gonna have these problems. And I know some women may say, well, none of you men are around or whatever. And I always say, you know what, before you say there's no men around, sometimes a woman has to look at who she chooses. You know, you have to follow patterns. Patterns is part of mathematics. If you had 3 failed relationships, you start to question, why do your relationships keep failing? You can't keep just saying, oh, it's a man's fault. Are you perhaps driving a man? Go ahead and holler at me. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I think that's some artificial shit constructed by the society and shit. More or less, I mean, I don't see why or where I caught up in the battle of the sexes. I mean, black women and black men both were oppressed during slavery, after slavery, until today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see where we have to get off into where we disrespecting each other by gender and whatever and shit like that. I mean, I do see there's ratchet shit on both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's one of the things that we need to disassociate ourselves with. That's their shit. That's not our shit.
Right.
You know, a white woman's uptight because she can't sit up and eat for a man all day long. All right. I mean, I find it offensive that white women are part of a affirmative action. I mean, when was a white woman oppressed?
Right.
They weren't.
Right. No doubt. And they always was on code. You know, they
exactly.
Regardless, you know, and our sisters ain't on code. And this is not us bashing our sisters. Like Brother Leo said, if both genders have some shit they got to work on. But you know, statistically, they say that when a man is not in the home, the chances of molestation is high. The chance of molestation is high. The chances of the child dropping out of school is high. The chances of incarceration is high when you don't have a black male in the home. And may the women that, if you are watching this, just take heed to that for a minute. Just listen to that. That when you don't have a man in the home, chances are your child is in trouble. And we have to start to really look at that. And really take that in consideration on how we can stop the problems in our city when there's not a man in the home, man. Brother Leo, what you got to say?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. I mean, there's a whole lot to that, man. And again, it goes back into, I mean, like eugenics, Stockholm syndrome. You know, still on the plantation. You know, a lot of us are still on the plantation by choice. A lot of us don't have the education or the understanding to move away. It's just like, I mean, as a whole, I mean, like, let's say, for instance, this race war does pop off. We're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up, it's a wrap. You know, the elite motherfuckers, they're gonna get dusted off because they're sedity, you know, and they think, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot to that, man. That's another conversation, bro. Really.
You know, the great Marcus Garvey once said, and I'm not going to try to say verbatim what he said, but he has stated that, you know, if you act crazy here, what difference does it make if we were to go back to Africa? You're gonna act crazy there too. He said that along the lines, you know, if you're doing ignorant shit here, and we were talking about going somewhere else, leaving this country, the ignorant motherfuckers that come with us is gonna be ignorant over there too. So what do? You know, that's something to think about for our viewers. Definitely leave a comment on that question. What do you do? Leave a comment. Make sure that you share the video, of course, and make sure if you are on YouTube at this time watching the show, make sure that you subscribe to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And so that's where we at right there with that. So what news you got for me? What's going on in your world? What's going on over there? What we doing over there?
Man, I really need some more information about that new law that they're getting ready to pass in Mississippi, where they have a whites only court. That has really blown my mind. You know that I mean, it's like whoa. So, where was Kamala Harris when they drafted this shit. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is more like like they found a way around the civil rights bill. They found a way around basically the Civil Rights Act.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right now, think about it. They found two black faces to go along with this, one independent and one Democrat,
Mhm.
to go along with this craziness of having a whites only court because Jackson, Mississippi is supposedly 80% African American, and the white populace doesn't feel like they'll be properly represented, so they feel like they need a separate court to have their issues heard.
Wow, so
That's crazy.
that's how they sold that, huh? That's crazy. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, it is 80% black, and Mississippi is the number one poverty state of the 52 states. Wow, and we still haven't even heard about the Brett Favre. I guess they just swept that shit under the rug.
Oh, they're trying. Oh, they're trying.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, they gave a damn more about, and you know what I love? I'm a dog person, okay?
Mhm.
I love animals, I love dogs and all that. And I thought that was garbage what Michael Vick did to those dogs, or what his a part of that, okay?
Mhm.
He did his time for that. It's a wrap. Up until that man retired, he had crazy ass people out there talking shit about him killing animals. And this man, Brett Favre, rich white man,
Mhm.
stole from poor people, poor white people too.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
stole from poor people, and they want everybody to shut the fuck up and go somewhere and shut up.
Yeah, that's crazy because the narrative is that when you think of welfare, you think it's just all blacks, and that's definitely not it. You got some poor European people out there as well that lost part of that $70,000 that Brett Favre allegedly was scheming off the top. Him and the governor down there. So yeah, that's crazy. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know if there's any latest news to that by putting that in the comments. And yeah, let's go ahead and just talk about it. Again, this is Saturday night grown folks social hour. And if you at the club right now, go ahead and you happen to be looking at your cell phone and you're checking out Coffee Talk Podcast. Let us know where you at. Let us know that if you're having a good time. You probably don't want us to know where you at because that's leaving too much information on this social media shit. But let us know you having a good time. Let us know where you at. The music is popping. Again, you ain't got to tell us where you at, but let us know what the vibe is like, what the environment's like. Go ahead and leave that in the comments as well. Um, what's your thoughts, man, on the NBA All-Star game, man? I don't like the fact that they don't play defense.
Mm. I've never gone to an All-Star game, and to keep it real with you, I haven't watched the All-Star game since the 90s.
Yeah, no doubt. And even back then, that's when they used to play a little bit of D, man. It was a little bit competitive because you always had the top rebounders, the top shot blockers, and stuff like that. So they really competed. Whereas today it's 3/4 of just, hey, we're gonna pass it, you dunk, I dunk. Well, we're not playing no D. It's a high scoring game, 160 to 160. That's 320 some points. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy the way they have the NBA All-Star game today. And we really, man, basketball is basketball. We all fans want to make sure, excuse me, that gets back to being competitive, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're gonna get ready to end the show soon, man. But let us know, man, what things you got going on, man, and what's up with you?
Well, I got a show that I'm developing. Basically, gonna do some reviews on certain things. I holler at you about it, but got that coming down the pipe, and that's what my focus is on right there, making that the best it could possibly be. And that's about it
Yeah,
for
no
me
doubt,
as
no
far as
doubt,
the podcasting shit's concerned.
no
Stuff.
doubt, no doubt. And I'm here for you, man. If there's anything that I can assist with as well, Definitely down with that as well. You always have the keys here to Coffee Talk Podcast to come on over. And yeah, man. So this is gonna conclude our show tonight. I think I want to get a question in. Give me 1 second. We're gonna pull this right out of the pile. Actually, get 2 in before we go. So we're gonna play 2 question Q&A. Let us know what you think the answers would be for you, people, as well as you tune in to the show either tonight or tomorrow. But leave your comments in the comment section. But let's go ahead and answer a question here. Let me throw one out there. I don't like questions like this, but it's an interesting question. So I'm gonna throw that question out, and then there's one more I wanna actually, you know what? This question is the same, so it's just softer this way to say it this way versus that way, and you'll see why in a second. Then let me see. What's the other question here? All right, so we got these 2 questions. These are going to be the 2 questions of Q&A tonight as we get ready to end the show. But the first question is this: what is your greatest regret? What is your greatest regret? And I say it that way because the other question before that, as I switched it out, was, and it was the same question, but it said, if you were to die tomorrow, what little thing would you regret not doing? So you can kind of answer that either way. I didn't want to really say, what if you die tomorrow? I don't want to cast that on either one of us. But what is one of your greatest regrets? For me, I would say, when I got out of high school, man, I applied to, I want to say 3 colleges. One of them was Mankato State in Minnesota here, Concordia College, St. Paul, where I ended up attending, and then Southern down in Louisiana. I was going to go to a HBCU. I didn't go to the HBCU, and I ended up not going. I was accepted, but I ended up not going. One of my best friends was going to go with me, and he chose to end up not going at the last minute as well. So grandma's was like, "Nah, I don't want to send you down to Louisiana by yourself." And I think that was a good move because back then I was a little wild. I was chasing panty lines and shit. So down in Louisiana, brothers don't play. So ain't no telling how they would treat a foreigner. But what's your question to this question? What is one of your greatest regrets?
Similar. I got accepted to Grambling. Went to Grambling. I think where I was, I moved too fast. I wasn't ready, so to speak. Yeah. I think I should have did the little junior college up here semester, then got acclimated to it, then went down there. Now, mind you, I had just took my GED because I was not going to repeat a year in school. I was one of those kids that, you could walk, but you're not getting no diploma. That's pointless. So, long story short, went and took the GED, got it done in 2 weeks. But I was on time going to college, but everything was. There was a lot of things that wasn't, I dotted, T crossed and shit, and it was I learned a lot from that experience, but I really wish that I had stuck that out more before coming back.
Okay, no doubt. And parents, if you're watching the show, that's something that you may want to sit down with your kids and evaluate. What I mean by that is this, and me and my kids talk about this all the time, is that for me, going 12 years to school, high school, elementary, high school, junior high, high school, whatever, you do 12 years of education. And then a lot of kids are just forced to go right into a college or the armed services or whatnot. Back in those days, anyway. And I always say, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would have took a year off, and that was because I was burnt out. At the end of 12th grade, I was just burnt out, And two, I was moving a little too fast, and I needed to develop and find myself before even thinking about any secondary education. So I would say to people, evaluate your child and ask them what they really want to do, and try to help them with that versus the traditional, hey, just go to college and keep going. A lot of people do experience burnout. So that's what I would want y'all to take from that tonight.
Definitely.
And the last question of the night is, who are your heroes in real life? Who are your heroes in real life? I'll give you one or two. Who are your heroes in real life? Also, if you are viewing, go ahead and leave that in the comments as well. Well, with that question, it doesn't say dead or anything, but it says, who are your heroes in real life? So let's just say these are for people that are still here with us. So the question is, who are your heroes in real life? So who are still living? Do you have any heroes that you look to? And that could be anybody, man. There's no real definition on heroes. I guess my heroes would have to be any people that are trying to uplift young adults. Anybody that's just trying to help, man, is a hero to me. We may not always agree and things like that, but if I see that you are helping the community and you're doing your part, whether I agree with you or not, I still support the fact that, man, they still out there on the front lines, and they getting it in, and we need that. Whether so at the beginning, Malcolm and Martin looked, from different lenses. Malcolm and Martin looked at the situation differently, but they all had that sit down, and Martin Luther King started to come along on that side, and they start to work with each other actually. So that's why I say, whoever's helping out in the community in whatever little way they can, they heroes to me. What's your thoughts?
Well, as far as my hero is concerned, or heroes or whatever, the one person I could think that comes to mind would be Robert Mugabe,
Okay, no doubt.
the former president of Zimbabwe.
Yep.
I really respect his tenacity, and I respect him as a statesman. I respected how he kept his word, as far as about not confiscating the farms from the white people until he had, and I respect that. I mean, like, he stood up against the world, United States and Great Britain reneged on the deal. When Rhodesia got liberated, there was a deal made that the white settlers can stay, but they would have to compensate the the people of that country for that prime land that they stole from them. The United States and Great Britain struck a deal, and they reneged on it, and so he started taking farms from people. So we look at many times when we have statements like Obama. I believe when Obama got in office, I believe he was really about the business to some degree. And by the time he got out, look what he had done. He gave gays rights, and he helped assassinate Colonel Gaddafi. You know what I mean? He came in an angel, left a devil. So, what can you say? But I respect Robert Mugabe. He went in like a G. He went out like a G.
No doubt.
They had to do him like Jesus to get him up out of there.
No doubt. So listen, this is our Coffee Talk podcast, man. And again, tonight we talked about nepotism. We talked about Willie D. Scarface and the Grammy situation. We also talked about Jay Prince, mob ties. And again, tonight's wise words It's Self-Destruction, Stop the Violence, Self-Destruction, that was released on January 15th, 1989 by KRS-One, Kumo D, MC Light, Public Enemy, Heavy D, Stetson Sonic, and many others, man. And that was our wise words tonight, because we just, with all the violence going on in the Twin Cities, these last 24 to 48 hours, man, I just thought that song would be appropriate for the wise words tonight. But I'd like to go ahead and say this, man. We'd like to thank y'all for continuing to tune into our show here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Again, we are a cultural variety podcast show. So if there was something that you didn't get tonight, you probably missed the show, or maybe you just didn't feel the topic, we give it to you 3 days a week. We give you the flavor. On alternate Sunday, Monday nights, we like to give you what we call cultural studies. We like to give big props to our authors, our doctors, our scholars, our lawyers, our people. We like to read poems. We like to read short stories and chapters. And so that's what we do on Cultural Studies Night. On Wednesdays, we give you our straight up sports. That's our sports night. And we're not like your typical sports show. We don't care about who won or lost a game, but we like to give you the different intricacies that's going on behind the scenes in the world of sports. And then on Friday and Saturday nights, such as tonight, we call this the Grown Folk Social Hour. You can come on here, have a good time. We're going to do some 10-question Q&A. We're going to have guests such as Brother Leo and other artists throughout the city, regionally and nationally. And we like to just have a good time, laugh, talk shit, smoke a little, drink a little, and just be ourselves. So this is Coffee Talk Podcast. And before I go, Brother Leo, is there anything you want to say to our viewers tonight?
Rest in heaven, my main man, Booby, a.k.a. Orlando Wallace, a.k.a. Booby. My man sorely missed, but peace, brother.
No doubt. And man, we love having you, brother, and I appreciate you coming through whenever you can find the time, man, to come on the show, man. I love having you on the show. I appreciate your insight, man. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, man. Again, thank y'all for tuning in with us, man. I'm gonna definitely hit y'all with that universal peace sign. Peace sign to my brother Leo, and man, check us out. He said he's what's the dude's name on Star Trek?
Live long and prosper.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, man, listen, check us out, man. Monday night, Cultural Studies Night, Coffee Talk Podcast. Until then, we'll see y'all soon, man. I'll say peace to you, brother.
Peace.
Peace.